gameplay that adds to the replayability, because it's the type of game that you can just come home, like say you're on a lunch break from work or something, come home, turn on your PlayStation, turn on the game, play it for 15 minutes, and then shut it off. The other thing that adds to the replayability is that the difficulty level is scalable, so you'll find that the better that you get, the harder things get and the more challenging it is. So it's still always going to be challenging you. It's not like it gets completely easy at a certain point. There's unlockable content in the game, and honestly, just the idea that every time that you play a game that the song could change a little bit here or there, that's enough to really bring you back for it.
Exactly. Another thing I like about the game is that your point, like nowadays, points aren't looked at as anything. Like, sure, you can, like in the arcades, points still, like really they aren't looked at as anything. You can go in, play Street Fighter 3, play the shit out of it, get a high score on that machine, and nobody like gives a shit about you, but and they can't be used towards anything. Whereas in this game, the guy that made it brings back the fact that points are worth something. Your points are always going to be saved in like a bank, and you can go into another menu and purchase shit with your points, and it adds to the game. Like you can play songs in reverse, I think. You can buy new lives, which will, so I mean, eventually, if you keep playing at it, you're going to beat the game because you buy more and more like lives to start out with, and then you can buy individual levels to just play that level. Like if you really like a song, I think it's level 2 or 3. I just love the shit of that song, and I'll just play it, and yeah, you get better at it, and you can whip out like the bass solos and guitar solos, and it's just a completely unique feel. I like how Sony is actually like buying into independent game developers. I mean, it's pretty much the only thing they have over the Xbox Live Arcade now, and they're doing a good job of it. So yeah. I give this game a buy.
Yeah, definitely. The only gripe that I was able to find about the game is that originally the game was created on the PC, and then they ported it to the PC or to the PlayStation 3. Sorry, and so with it being a PC port, it's only got 8 directions. So you're shooting in only 8 directions. So in between those 8 directions, there isn't really any firing in that range. So you might notice that a little bit. It's like very, very minuscule. So unless you're like really looking for it, you won't notice. But it is there. So, but I mean that's a tiny, tiny problem on a great game, and I totally say buy it. It's worth it.
Yeah, so buy that. I actually didn't notice that until you brought that up, but now that you mention it, yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's a little bit, and unless you're really looking for it, you really don't even notice. So it's not a huge thing, but like I said, it's one of the only gripes I could find, which explains as to why it's such a good game.
Yeah, so buy it.
For sure. And the last game we're looking at is on the Nintendo Wii, their WiiWare console, a good old classic brought back to new graphics, another remake, I guess, and that's Dr. Mario Online. And it's actually a pretty decent game. If you're a fan of the first one, then you'll be a fan of this one, because really you can't do a lot of changing to the game. But what they've done is they've added in the second version of it called Virus Buster, which was the name, is basically Dr. Mario, but it was the name given to it in the game Brain Age 2 for the DS. So it's all like you can play it online if you want to. The online play requires friend codes again, which is my biggest gripe with the Wii. If you have seen any of our shows, you'll notice that anytime that we're playing online on the Wii, that's always the #1 complaint I have, just because it's such a brutal system, because you have your Wii friend code and then you have your game friend code, and each game has a different friend code, and it's terrible. I really wish they would have gone to a gamer tag type of way that the PSN and the Xbox Live Arcade do, but I guess that's not really something that you can hold against a game, because it's not like they programmed it that way. It's just that's how the Wii works. So but I mean, all the classics to Dr. Mario's there. The Fever and Chill songs are in there. In the classic version, they also have 2 songs called One's Cough and One is Sneeze, and I think those were from Dr. Mario 64, if I'm not mistaken. But they've remixed all the songs, so they sound better than they did on the Nintendo. And like it's all good. So I mean, if you like the original Dr. Mario, there's no reason why you won't like this one.
Yeah, a thing I'd like to point out about the online is that it's only if you want to play against your friends that you have to worry about friend codes. It'll randomly select people based on your score, and as you keep playing online, your score will like increase or decrease depending on how you're going, and they'll try and match you as evenly as possible. So that's always nice. It's always one-on-one though for the online, which is kind of a downer because I mean the Wii's totally capable of four-player multiplayer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then that Virus Buster, it feels like you're playing a Flash game on the PC. So that was not a good time.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of it's a cool take on it, but it's not like the actual game. Like basically the whole point in Virus Buster is you use your Wiimote for it, and it's like you're dragging and dropping the pills instead of actually manipulating them like you would normally. So it makes it a little bit easier because then when you put them down and they collapse, you can actually pick up what was left and move it into another area and make that collapse too. So it makes it a little bit easier. But by doing that, it's kind of taking away a little bit of the game, and like you said, it feels like it's just a cheap little Flash game that they kind of tacked in to make it worth the 1,000 points. But like it was all right, but I would definitely not pick it up just for that reason.
Oh, definitely.
This game's only this one's basically a buy if you're a Dr. Mario fan, but if not, then this one is I would pass it. But I like the games personally, so I picked it up. So.
Yeah, if you like Dr. Mario and you like even if you have it for the NES, I mean I know you can always play it for the NES, but it's the fact that you're getting like a score and you're able to play online and. It's just, I don't know, it's got a little bit of a better feel to it than the original, which is hard to say nowadays when they rehash originals, especially on the Wii, so I'm going to say buy it.
Definitely. Yeah, I would say the problem with the Wii is you can't try the games,
Exactly.
So I would say buy it because I mean it's 1,000 points, so it's not like it's gonna break the bank. And honestly, with a game like this, you know what you're getting into, so it's not like you're going in blind. But if you're not a fan of the puzzle series, I say pass it. But like I said, I like these games, so I bought it. And so yeah, so that wraps things up for another episode of Downloadable Content. I'm Mike.
I'm Dookie.
Have yourselves a great day and happy downloading.